Y'all, I'm here for that easy, free YouTube content. You know how it has to be. Speaking of easy, free YouTube content, did you know it's still 56.9% of the people? This number hasn't changed in over 3 months. It's wild. It's like the same people keep coming back and watching, and then they still don't sub. And that's the people in this 43%. So if you're watching this video and you're not subbed, I'm just gonna disappear. I'm gonna run away forever. Okay, but with that out of the way, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna save. So I'm just gonna put all the games that I am gonna be like ranking, because I'm not ranking all of these. Like some of these games I just haven't played, or I'm not interested in like comparing them to each other. So, but as of right now, here, let me make the screen a little bit bigger. So as of right now, we're definitely gonna do. I haven't played Metroid 2, so I'm not going to rank Metroid 2. I will rank Metroid 1, however. Metroid 1 is, I've never beaten the game, but every time I try and play it, it's just, it controls like absolute garbage. It's just not fun. Hold up. So, Metroid 1 has a lot of flaws. You just die all the time. Like, your first time playing through the game, you're just not gonna have a good time, just because the way that the game is structured. It's one of those games that it takes a long time to master, and even then, are the mechanics and like the world really worth playing through? Not really. It's just a D. It's like, it's not F. It's not like belongs in the trash, because I don't think many of these games belong in the trash, but it's not fun. There's nothing that makes me want to have a good time playing this, or even try and get to the point where I will have a good time playing this. So I just ignore the game. It doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather just play, you know, any other version of Metroid games. One day I'll finish it once. It's like, exactly, that's how I feel about the game too. It's like, one day we'll finish it, but I'm not really interested in that being anytime soon. Should I change it to just chatting? Oh, fuck off. I'll do what I want. Have Twitch ban me, I don't care. All right, next up, I'm gonna save the big boys for last, so I'm gonna skip Super Metroid for now. We'll come back to it. But Metroid Fusion, I actually had a really good time playing through. It only had like 1 or 2 spots where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Shooting every single like square, looking for my one way out, because that happens in Metroid games sometimes, is that you just get like in a spot where there's no way out, except if you find the exact like breakable thing. But that only happened like a handful of times. The story is fine. I actually enjoy the story a decent amount, for what it's worth. The actual level designs themselves are really cool. Each individual world being like linear isn't that bad to me, because you actually go through some interesting locations. And the fact that you know that you have to do everything in this one location helps you to not get lost. So you know that you don't have to backtrack and stuff like that. Norfair sucks. I don't know. Nonetheless, I think this is like B tier, in my opinion. But that's just me. I enjoyed my time with it though. It's not the best possible, but it was good. Now, Zero Mission. Zero Mission is, at least when you're doing the non-extra bonus stuff, Zero Mission like is A tier. But once you beat the main thing and then you do like the Zero Suit stuff, it kind of drags. I think it still belongs in A tier. I think I still had more fun with Zero Mission than I did with Fusion. But like, there's definitely like, I don't think it's probably gonna end up at the bottom of A. Like, it's really, really fun and it's really good, but like the very like last like 2 hours are not very fun, honestly. And the final boss, if I remember correctly, isn't like, it's meh. I don't know. It's whatever. AM2R I never actually played. Never played Samus Returns. Okay, you guys are gonna get mad at me And this is like a Metroidvania tier list, but like I'm also like, I've never really played the Prime games. They're not really interesting to me at all. Like Metroid Prime 2, I don't really care. I genuinely don't care. The controls are weird. And like a first-person Samus game, like it's mostly the controls. The controls are really just like, I don't care. I don't care. Here, I'll change this tier to I don't care. That's where these games fall. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, I'm sure they're fine games, but I don't care enough to give them a try. Although I've heard that the one of them is really bad, and I don't even know. No, if I haven't played it, I'm not going to place it on the list. I have played Prime 1 enough to know that the Prime series I don't care about. That's the only difference. All right, y'all. I'm saving y'all for later. Circle the Moon. This game gets a lot of shit from a lot of people that haven't played it a lot. But this game, if you know the DSS glitch, probably like a B tier, like high B. If you don't know the DSS glitch and you're playing through on a clear file or without a clear file, it's actually not that good. Circle the Moon gets outclassed by a lot of other games. Like, its actual game design is very poor. The way that the cards can lock you out of like just means of doing damage in a meaningful way is really, really bad. If you don't get the right cards, like from lucky drops, they're random. You don't know. When you're playing through for the first time, you don't have access to the cards. If you don't know how to do the DSS glitch, which you shouldn't, it's your first playthrough, you're not going to have access to any good card combinations, and you're going to be extremely underpowered. And that's how it is for most people, and that's why most people who play through the first time don't have a good time. Now, if your first playthrough is on Magician mode, somehow you have a friend who's nice to you and is like, hey, I know you like Castlevania games. Here's Circle the Moon. However, I've already beaten the game for you. There's a clear file. When you start the game up, name yourself Fireball, and this will be your first introduction to the game. You're gonna have a great time. Magician mode is like B tier, almost A tier. But just playing through the game on its own without Magician mode is like, it's not very fun. I would say I would put this over any classic Castlevania game for me personally, but it does have a classic Castlevania feel, but with like a better castle to actually explore. 1v1 me in Pride 2. Yeah, I got you, bro. Now we're coming up on, I'll start with the other GBA Vania, Harmony of Despair. The actual casual playthrough that I did of this game, it wasn't that bad. But I don't know. Like the spell system was pretty interesting. The fact that you were linked to like a specific element and then you combine that with your sub weapon, I thought it was pretty cool. The castle itself with the A and B castle got kind of annoying, honestly. I got lost like a handful of times, but not like a lot. So I don't know. It's definitely better than Circle the Moon. Its movement is really cool too. The fact that you just press on the L and R buttons to dash is really cool. But I don't know. It might be a low B. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in low B because, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in low B for now because I need room for a lot of stuff to exist. You know, there needs to be like, the tiers need to make sense. And I think the best way for the future games that I'm going to put on this list to make sense is I need to put this in B. Number of programs you have pinned to quick launch offends me. Dude, I use all of these all the time. I quick launch all of these all the time. It's just convenient for me, dude. Don't roast me. All right. The last of the GBA Vanias. It's going in S tier. It's so good. Aria is so fucking good. It has, like, the first of the formula for, I think, the modern Metroidvania, Castlevania. Like, this is the game that started. Without this game, there would be no Bloodstained. Without this game, there would be no Dawn of Sorrow, there'd be no Portrait, there'd be no Ecclesia. It's... How about Zelda 2? Zelda 2's not even on this list, my guy, chill. I would put it in I don't care right now, because I don't care about Zelda 2 right now, if you're really curious. Yeah, Aria set the standard, and it's still a very good game to come back to this day. And, like, the randomizer's good. Like, you can randomize the game up, and it's still fun to play. I'm trying to think if there's any, like, real bullshit in the vanilla playthrough that you would do. I mean, you have the books that you need to acquire, and then you need to find the souls based off of that, but I feel like that's not too terrible to figure out. But it's also been a long time since I played it casually. But all the souls are really interesting for the most part. Some of them are kind of like, this stat is increased, but like a lot of the bullet souls are interesting. A lot of the, just the souls in general I enjoyed. Dawn of Sorrow, also S tier. These games are basically the same thing. The only issue why Dawn of Sorrow is slightly lower, in my opinion, is that you have to use the touchscreen, which is like, and the touchscreen mechanics are not well thought out at all. It's definitely a gimmick, and that gimmick does hurt it. If you were able to download the mod for the game that like just auto completes boss fights for you once you like kill the boss the first time, and it does the seal for you, then you'll have a much better time, I would say. If you have to emulate the game and do it that way, I definitely recommend it. The souls, I think, overall are more interesting. The environments are very well crafted. The castle itself is super fun to explore, except for, I think, like 2 areas that are kind of meh. Like, Chaos itself is kind of meh, the Chaos Realm. I'm not a big fan of the Chaos Realm in this game. But every other area is really, really cool and, like, different. The weapons are really unique. The fact that you can level up your weapons based off of finding souls makes you interested in grinding for souls in an interesting way. Aria has really good music. Everything on this list is going to have like 10 out of 10 music because they're Castlevania and Metroid games. Like, music's like a given 10 out of 10. Well, except for one on this list. The music on Bloodstained's kind of shit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Portrait, I'm going to give it a top of A. I personally don't enjoy Portrait as much as I enjoy Dawn of Sorrow, but Portrait might technically be a better game, but I don't personally enjoy it more. I think the team-up mechanics are kind of meh. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the team-up mechanics, personally. A lot of the progression being based around, like, kick off of your teammate's head, or, you know, like, you don't gain a lot of meaningful progression until very late into the game. I feel like your characters don't feel like they're getting stronger until like the very, very end of the game. Whereas like one of your progression abilities is turning into a frog, and like the frog is useless outside of like just crawling through holes. Whereas I feel like in these games, every time you're given a new mechanic to use, it actively makes you stronger. Like Dawn of Sorrow, when you transform into a bat, it gives you access to new areas and you can like literally fly around and shit. Where I feel like Portrait, it kind of drops the ball on some of these. The skills, you have to level up by using them, which is fine, I guess, but it's not my favorite mechanic for getting skills to be stronger. Granted, you get skills stronger for these souls by just collecting more of those souls, so that's not necessarily a great mechanic either. I wish there was a better way to level them up, but I don't know. Overall, the world in Portrait of Ruin is also kind of meh. Some of the levels in Portrait of Ruin are very, very, very boring. Like some of the revisits that you have to do where you're just, it's the same portrait again, except harder enemies and a lot more of them is kind of annoying. Portrait's music is very, very good, but I would say like the revisits that you have to do for some of the harder versions of the portraits is very boring in my opinion. And that's near the end of the game too, but Order of Ecclesia. I'm gonna make this. If it wasn't for the fucking goat boss or whatever, the horse boss, you guys know what I'm talking about. The horse boss. If it wasn't for the horse boss, this would be an A. But it's in B. Actually, you know what? I liked Fusion better. I liked Fusion better than Order of Ecclesia. Ecclesia's level design is very, very, very bad. Some of its bosses are absolutely absurd too. I like a lot of the mechanics in Order of Ecclesia. They are just not... Yeah, the straight line levels are very boring. The combat in Order of Ecclesia, I think, is very, very close to being good. The issue is that your main form of damage is locked behind hearts. The castle is good. Yeah, once you get into Dracula's castle, it's actually quite good. But everything else is pretty poor, I would say. Yeah. And some of the bosses are fucking... The horse boss is absolute garbage trash. Terrible. All right. I will rank Bloodstained, even though I was trying to keep this to only Metroidvanias like Castlevania and Metroid. I'll talk about Bloodstained for a second. It's better than Order of Ecclesia. That's about it. I don't know. This game, you know what it feels like to me? When I play Portrait of Ruin or Dawn of Sorrow or Aria of Sorrow, or, well, I'm just gonna compare it to the Castlevanias. When I'm playing those games, you know what it feels like? It feels like I'm eating a well-crafted, well-rounded meal. You know, something with like just a full course meal. Something that's just it's healthy. It's not necessarily like... It's like filling, it's healthy, it doesn't make you feel bad when you eat it, and it tastes good. It's like all well-rounded, you know? It might not be your favorite meal ever, but it's a good standard meal. Playing Bloodstained feels like you're going to like a fast food place and trying to order the same meal. And it's like they technically delivered on what you ordered, but you're not gonna feel good eating it. It feels manufactured. It feels fake. It feels just not wholesome. It's the Golden Corral version of Soden. Yes, that's the best way to put it. It has all the same ingredients, but those ingredients are just not of the same quality. And they put the ingredients together in technically the same shape, but it's just not good for you. It's not good for your soul. This game is missing out. The music in this game is just like not nearly as good as the quality you're going to see in Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia, Aria of Sorrow, Soten, any of those games. They got rid of save file icons. 0 out of 10, exactly. No, and like, I would say the combat in this game is probably one of my favorite games as far as like Igavania combat styles. I think Dawn of Sorrow might be my favorite overall, with like the combinations of souls and like weapons and like the way that you gain items in the game. I think Dawn of Sorrow might be my favorite, especially with like attack cancels and stuff. Bloodstained does a really good job of making you interested in like different attacks because they all have different special attack, or different weapons because they have different special attacks and stuff like that. It's just like, it feels like they could have done more. It feels like they could have added better items, you know? Like some of these items, like they wanted to go crazy with, but they like, oh, we're gonna add a chrysogram, but it's like, it's like a boneless chrysogram. It's not very, it doesn't feel as powerful as it should. The fact that the backdash cancel is based off of crouching is kind of meh as well, but I mean, that's just my own personal like gripe with the movement. The movement is like a little more stiff in my opinion compared to the other DS-Vanias as well, because it's like you're trying to remake the DS-Vania form of movement in a different game engine. It's unpolished. The visuals are very bad. Like they said that they were gonna fix the visuals. The visuals still look bad. You can make 2.5D games look good. You can look at Arc System Works. Arc System Works has been making 2.5D games that look like straight out of an anime, you know? That look like just top notch. I get that this was like a crowdfunded like indie project and it's not gonna be perfect. But man, it like barely delivered. It barely delivered on what it could have been. And that's the thing. It's more of a disappointment than anything, but I had fun the first time I played it. I don't want to play it again. I don't want to grind and get 100% of anything in this game, but I had fun playing it the first time. Arc goes for a drawn look. Well, so this is something that I've brought up many a times on stream, and I'll bring it up again. Where's the Kickstarter page? I know that this is just concept art, but like, dude, the game doesn't look nearly this good. When they launched the Kickstarter, this is the concept art that they were dropping. If the game looked like this, are you kidding me? It'd be gorgeous. It'd be fantastic. Oh, we got was what did we end up getting, guys? Oh, nudity. This is what we got. Point was that they ditched the style. Exactly. This is what we got. And this is what they said they were gonna give us. Also, this move doesn't exist. This air dash doesn't exist. I want an air dash. I don't know. Long story short, Bloodstained, I spent a lot of time talking about it. Kind of just a disappointment more than anything else. And that's all the Metroidvanias that I wanted to place. I'll give some short little, because I don't think it's fair to compare these games because I'm not nearly as invested in them. Also, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is not really a Metroidvania, but whatever. Momodora, this is Riviera Under the Moonlight. This game is A+. This game is fantastic. I recommend everybody go out and play it. Rank Shantae. I don't think I've ever played a Shantae game, to be honest. Shantae would go in I don't care, because I don't care to ever play a Shantae game. They don't look fun to me. Hollow Knight. Presentation, S tier. Execution, like B+. Hollow Knight, I think objectively belongs in like an A tier, but it's like a C+ actually on execution. There's so many things wrong with this game. I actually ended up finishing Bloodstained, so it might go under Bloodstained if I had to rank it. I had a lot of gripes with Hollow Knight. If Guac had good net play. I mean, we could circumvent that with what's that stupid Parsec? Parsec, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Miniora, it's out of early access. I have it saved on my wish list, I think, lady. Or Deadlit Wander's Labyrinth, or whatever. I don't know. We can try it, but I had bad experience a couple years ago with Parsec. I think I'd like Miniora. I have a bunch of games downloaded that I'm gonna try on stream soon, because I need to get through them. They've been on my playlist for like fucking ever. Dead Cells I need to play. I have it downloaded and I want to play it, but I need to play it. Never played the La Mulana series. Guacamelee I still haven't finished. I started up Guacamelee 1 and I enjoyed it, but it was one of those games that I picked up and then like set down and then never played again. Axiom Verge is like a B tier. I think I enjoyed Axiom Verge just a little bit more than Bloodstained. The game has issues for sure, especially when it comes to backtracking. And the weapons don't feel very powerful, but the world itself is really cool. The boss fights are really cool. The story is pretty interesting. I would say Axiom Verge is definitely worth a playthrough for most people. You enjoyed Momo 3 more than Momo 4? I should try Momo 3 then. I've never played it. 4 felt really stiff. I enjoyed 4 a lot, so that's interesting. All right, I think it's time. And I think to nobody's shock, oh, that's not supposed to be the best. This is just S. Stop. There we go. These are the best. By far and away. Like, they belong in their own tier. They are so good. This is my list, Turbo. Fuck off. It's SS Soten. Alright. Oh, and there we go. I am shocked by this turn of events. I know. As it turns out, the first 2 games that started the genre are still the best. They're still the best. By far and away, still the best. My own personal bias makes me want to put Soten over Super Metroid. But realistically, if somebody did this, I wouldn't be offended. Because Super Metroid is so solid. Super Metroid is like, it's so insanely good. I would say that the main difference between the two of them is that Super Metroid starts off as such a strong, solid base for you to work off of, where I think Soten is a little bit weaker of a start. I mean, you do start the game off with the prologue, which is interesting, but the prologue has like very little to do with the rest of the game, unless you're speedrunning, and then it actually determines so much about the rest of the game. The fact that you start with all of your strong gear and then it's taken away from you is a very interesting hook, and a lot of games have copied that in the future. I like the hook, but then once you're given Alucard, naked Alucard, alone and afraid at the start in Alchemy Lab, you're kind of really weak and not that cool of a character. Alucard is not a very cool character until you get Bat, really. Very floaty, kind of clumsy, yeah. But once you get Bat, things like, at that point in the game, it's like, you're really just grooving along. And granted, the naked and afraid Alucard is still leagues above, I feel like, the feel and control of a lot of these other games. And then once Soten reaches its peak, referring to Super Metroid, they actually both have a very similar issue, but I'm gonna get to Super Metroid in a minute. But yeah, Soten's like castle design is like 99% of the time it's a 10 out of 10. It's like a lot of the encounters are very thematic in the castle. It's very immersive. You feel like you're in Dracula's castle, as much of a cliche as it is to say that. There's only a handful of places where I feel like they've dropped the ball on some of the enemy placements and like castle design itself. The caverns is one of my favorite places, but it has a lot of issues as far as like, and I mean, Turbo said it a lot of times, the caverns itself doesn't add to any of the progress of the game itself, but it is a great environmental piece that is very memorable. It's its own little involved area of the game. The design philosophy of like just putting whatever the fuck you want into the game and seeing what sticks, and just like leaving completely broken items, broken weapons, broken spells, bosses that are like completely absurd. Like the boss design for Beelzebub is so interesting and unique, even though he only has one attack. He literally only has one attack. Doppelganger as a boss has been copied in so many other games in the future as well. Yeah, the rest of the design is very solid. I feel like everything has a purpose. Alucard gets more interesting and more powerful the more relics you acquire. The transformations that you get are really cool. It's interesting to be able to use the wolf. It's interesting to be able to use the mist, especially once you have power of mist as well, to fly around and dodge stuff. And then the bat obviously is just like, if it wasn't for Wing Smash, I don't think the game would be in contention for the best, in my opinion. But I'm gonna put it at the best because the control that you get with Wing Smashes and like the speedrunning potential is just insane for me. Like obviously I'm biased, but I fucking love this shit so much. The way it feels to just Wing Smash through a room perfectly and control it is just so good. Many enemies are dominated by crouching and attacking at full range. That is true. It's definitely not the best combat in the series. I think Dawn of Sorrow might have much better combat. Portrait of Ruin has some interesting combat situations as well. Aria as well. There's some interesting challenges that you have to deal with as far as combat goes. But Soden has just the full package. The music is like the best music in the series. The movement is the best in the series. Backdash cancels are so just fun and interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna compare them. Super Metroid, the difference that I see is Super Metroid starts off at the gate with, you have this character that is like clumsy and floaty, similar to Alucard. Alucard is very clumsy and very floaty as well. Alucard doesn't have acceleration on his walk, which makes it a little more, I think, easy to control. But Samus's acceleration, Samus's run acceleration, the mechanics that you can do with running and jumping alone and wall jumps, and you get all that stuff out the gate. You don't have to get a relic to unlock wall jumps. You don't have to get a relic to unlock being able to run. You don't get a relic to unlock like wall jumps and like all the different like movement mechanics you can do, like down grabs and like what is it called when you spin break. All of the like advanced movement techniques are available to the people that want to put in the time and learn it, and that stuff makes Samus feel so much better to control. But that stuff is there for you if you learn it. And I will say, if you don't learn that stuff, you could still have an amazing time with Super Metroid. But I think if you go out of your way to learn all that stuff and enjoy it and master it, I can only imagine the experience, because I haven't done that. I can only imagine the experience is like so much better. It would be like another tier above. And then, yeah, every upgrade in this game is meaningful and impactful. Every missile upgrade you get directly affects your ability to do damage to bosses and enemies. Because this game is fucking hard. Super Metroid doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. Super Metroid will dump you in a world with enemies that do half of your damage, like half of your health in one single hit, and be like, go find an E-tank, idiot. Go find more health. Go find missiles. I don't know. Fucking deal with it, bitch. And like, it makes it so much better when you find your first health tank, because you're gonna, like, it's actively letting you explore more. When you find missiles, not only does it unlock doors for you, it makes you stronger. You can kill enemies faster. Getting super missiles, even more so. Power bombs, I'm kind of conflicted on, but I enjoy that they exist because they do clear large sections and make exploration a little bit nicer. I will say some of the parts of Meridia are pretty boring. Like the like sand dune area where you get spring ball and shit like that. I'm like, that shit kind of puts me to sleep. But every other aspect of the world in Super Metroid, I think, is very, very, very tightly put together. Twitch says Souls games are Metroidvanias. Dark Souls I probably would have put in the top of S tier, but I don't think it's fair to compare them. But I love Dark Souls, specifically Dark Souls 1. I love Dark Souls 1 so much. And yeah, that's my list. If you think I said something that's incorrect, or you think I'm fucking high on marijuana and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, leave a comment, you know, message me on Twitter, tell me I'm stupid and dumb and ugly to my face. Or if you think I'm right about everything, leave a comment saying that I'm right about literally everything as well. Make sure to like the video, subscribe. Peace out.